Welcome back to the Full Court Trap. Today we got my Week 12 NFL predictions. Now, somehow it's already Thanksgiving weekend. Tomorrow's gonna be Thanksgiving, so crazy. We're getting really deep into the season, and we got 3 games tomorrow. So starting out with the first game, for my predictions, we got Lions Packers. Now, for the first time in a long time this year, you can really say the Lions are heavy favorites over the Packers. It would be pretty surprising if the Packers won this game. I just think the talent difference is too much. It is a division game, Thanksgiving game, so it's not gonna be easy for the Lions. I don't think. I think it'll be a pretty close game, but I say Lions win that game by, yeah, little bit. Not like in a blowout, but they'll win by over a touchdown. I think. On the Cowboys Commanders, yeah, really have no reason to overthink this. Cowboys are the way better team. They're at home, as tradition goes. Lions and Cowboys are always at home on Thanksgiving. I see this being a blowout. I think the Cowboys win this game by a lot. But now we got Seahawks 49ers at 8:20. Now, I think most people are going to predict the 49ers to win this game. I think the Seahawks upset them, and here's why. Because the Seahawks, a lot of people don't give them the credit. They've been a really good team the last 2 years. Especially early in the season, they've had really good starts this season. You can say what you want about their schedule or whatever, but at the end of the day, it's not a accident that they got to where they have both of these seasons. And I think, it's tough. I know that the 49ers beat them 3 times in a row last year, and they might just have their number, but it's tough to be a good division opponent on the road. That's always a really tough thing to do. It's also, Thanksgiving night game. Yeah, it's I don't know, it just feels like a tough environment. Seattle's always been a tough place to play. I think Seahawks win that in a really close game. I'm predicting the Seahawks to upset the 49ers tomorrow and take the division lead too. Then Friday we got Dolphins at Jets. Tim Boyle's first start with the Jets. I believe he started for the Lions last year. I think Dolphins win this one pretty handily. Yeah, as a Patriots fan, yeah, not a fan of the Jets, but as a football fan, I can tell how frustrating it must be as a Jets fan with all the defensive talent they have. They even have guys like Garrett Wilson and Brees Hall on offense that the offensive line and quarterback play just continue to ruin their seasons really. But at this point they are where they are, and I don't think things are gonna really change there. I think Dolphins win that game running away. The Jets are just a mess right now. Um, on to Sunday. I think I trust the Saints to win that game more than I do the Falcons. I think there's a pretty, they're a pretty same tier team, but Falcons have more offensive talent, I'd say. But ultimately, it feels like they don't know how to use it because their quarterback plays so bad. And I think the Saints have better defense too. It's gonna be in Atlanta. Yeah, like I said, division games on the road are always tough. Atlanta's favored by a point in that game. Um, but I'm gonna go with New Orleans. Uh, then for Steelers at Bengals, again, AFC North games are always a coin flip. I don't even know who's starting for the Bengals right now. Let me check that real quick. If this will load, it's going slow. Okay. Roster. We got. Is it AJ McCarron or Jake Browning? Rookie out of Washington. So regardless, it's gonna be one of those guys because obviously Burrow's out, but obviously the Steelers don't have the strongest offense in the world, and there's both teams have good defenses, and it's in Cincinnati. Um, I think I'm gonna take the Bengals in this one. Uh, it's gonna be a close game, but I think the home field advantage ultimately will give them the game. It's hard for me to choose because neither teams really have much of an offense. Steelers defense is obviously very dominant. Bengals have a good defense. Just division road games are tough, and the AFC North, everything's so close. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Bengals in a close one there. Panthers Titans, really. I guess I'll take the Titans because they're at home and the Panthers have just been a complete mess all year. But ultimately, neither of these teams are going anywhere. I really hope Bryce Young gets a better team around him next year because I still think that guy has a lot of potential. I'm a big fan of his game. It's just they put him in the worst situation possible, and ultimately, I hope that doesn't lead to the downfall of his career because that's a special talent right there. Buccaneers at Colts. I'll go with the Colts in this one. At home, they're 1-4 at home this year, which is kind of crazy to see. Bucks have been pretty good. Colts have been pretty good. Two average teams. Minshew's very hot and cold. He can win you games. He can lose you games. And I'm gonna go with the Colts in that one. Then for Patriots at Giants, as a Patriots fan, I guess this is my chance to really talk about them as a team. Where they're at because I haven't really talked about them as much on this channel. But man, it's a mess of a team. It's been a tough year for them. They started out the year looking like a decent football team, even with that 0-2 start. The Eagles game, they were, uh, Bodie, or however you pronounce his last name, gets his feet in balance in that game. It's a good chance they win that one. In the Dolphins game, if they if they don't come out with a fourth down play that ends up with Cole Strange with the ball in his hands, maybe they win that game. Giants seem like they're not doing the tank quite as well as the Patriots because they won that game last week. Patriots, it doesn't even feel like they're tanking. They're just not good. There's defensive talent, but losing Judon and Christian Gonzalez obviously takes away from that, and Mac Jones just doesn't have it. And obviously a lot of it's the offensive line. There's not very much talent on offense at all, but obviously Mac Jones, some of the throws he's making are just unacceptable, and he, as well as a lot of the guys in the offense, have to be gone next year. I have full faith in the defense to stick together and do something right, but the offense just has there's like nothing really besides Demario Douglas, Ramondre Stevenson. I like Hunter Henry a lot, but obviously he's older. But man, it's tough, man. There's very little offensive talent on this team. So I'll take the Giants, I guess, in a close one. It's hard to root against your football team, but at this point in the season, with the Patriots really not having a chance of the playoffs, I'd probably rather them, lose and get the higher pick than, win for nothing. Now, onto a very interesting game, the game that I think will be the best game this weekend. We got Jaguars at Texans. Now, the Texans won the first matchup in this early season. I believe it was a blowout in Jacksonville. And now we got Stroud playing an MVP level. We got the Jaguars have basically been rolling besides that blowout loss to the 49ers recently. And I think this will be a really, really good game. I'm going to go with the Texans at home. Stroud's been rolling. The offense looks amazing. I just feel like they got more firepower than the Jaguars. And obviously, I think the Jaguars are probably the better all around team. But I don't know, man. Stroud has just looked like MVP level recently. And I'm going with the great quarterback play they got there in Houston. Um, I'm taking the Texans in a very close game. I think it'll be the game of the weekend. So then we move on to Browns at Broncos. Man, Broncos have been rolling. I believe it's 4 in a row after their 1-5 start. Incredible turnarounds this season. Browns really, really good football team. Unfortunately, they lost their quarterback. They lost their, legendary running back they got with Chubb. Man, this is a tough one because the Browns defense is incredible. I think if they had both of those guys, they'd be a very strong Super Bowl contender. But they don't, and the Broncos are playing really, really good football right now. I was giving Russell Wilson a lot of criticism earlier this year. I gotta give him credit, man. They've made it pretty easy in the offense for him to play his to get completions and play his game. But ultimately, when he's had to make the throws, he's made the throws, and it's led to a lot of very close wins. And I think they'll squeak one out here too. It's tough for the Browns because they got so much talent, but ultimately the quarterback play just isn't that great. And the Broncos are playing really good football right now. They beat the Packers, which isn't a great win, but they beat the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Vikings, three really good teams. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Broncos. I think it'll be a really close game, really defensive game, but I'm taking the Broncos in that one. Rams Cardinals. I think the Rams win this one, for sure. Kyler's back. He's been having them playing better football, but the Rams, I think, are still a playoff contender, and I think they'll win this one. Regardless of it being in Arizona. Chiefs at Raiders. I think this will be a lot closer than the spread is giving them credit for here at 8.5. Raiders are playing pretty good football right now. Chiefs are having a really hard time scoring, particularly in the second half. Definitely the weakest, offense they've been playing since the Mahomes era began. And the defense in the Chiefs, to their credit, the defense is the best defense they've had in this era. Yeah, I think the Chiefs win. I think it'll be a good game. Uh, yeah, I think it'll be a good game, but the Chiefs win. Bills at Eagles. Now this will be interesting because I'm taking the Eagles, but I feel like this is the type of game that Bills could pull out. The Bills are a very high ceiling, low floor team that could lose to anybody. They can beat anybody. Not a very good road team, obviously at 1-3, but you know they're kind of in desperation mode here because if they lose this game, they're gonna be. Let's see what the Dolphins' record is. So if they lose this game, assuming the Dolphins beat the Jets, Dolphins will be 8-3, and the Bills will be 6-6. So would that be like 2.5 games back of the Dolphins? In week 12. I mean, that would basically be division over. And then you gotta start thinking like the wild card will be really in question at that point too. Like this is the game the Bills need a lot more than the Eagles. So I'm gonna take the Eagles, but I would not be shocked at all if the Bills won this. Yeah, so I think the Eagles win in a close game. Could be a blowout, could be a Bills win. Not sure. That's a tough game to predict, but I'm gonna go with the Eagles because it seems like a safe pick. Um, Ravens at Chargers. I think the Chargers win this game because the Chargers always have to be close to the mean. They can't be too good or too bad. They have to be as close to average as possible. They got all the talent in the world, the Chargers, and they're gonna be playing with desperation. Ravens are obviously a really good team. Their 3 losses this year easily could have won, a few plays away from being 11-0. But I feel like the Chargers on a Monday Night Football game, yeah, they're at home, which doesn't mean much because they don't really have a fan base. But I think the Chargers pull this out, get back in the playoff race a little bit. Yeah, I think Herbert will pull this game out. I think it'll be a good game. Obviously, I don't think the Ravens can get blown out or anything, but I think Chargers close the week out with a win over the Ravens. So that's my picks for this week, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what your guys' picks are, what you agree on and disagree on. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.